Two. Alright, all set. Hey, how's it going? Dr. Mike here, the mad Russian scientist of metal in Melbourne lockdown, having much fun, Today, on the brand new show, which is Metal Myth Busters, which I just basically come up with. I want to debunk something that I've read on Facebook communities, and that is a major myth in mixing metal, and that is instruments in isolation, in metal mixes, will sound like crap. Guitars will be fuzzy and missing low end, bass won't have any warmth, and drums will just sound like trash cans, but somehow magically, when put together, these will sound bigger than life, massive, and not as sent-angel snare by any means. So, to me, as a producer, as a mix engineer specializing in metal for more than 6 years professionally now, this is a bit of a nonsense. If anything sounds like crap to me, it will remain sounding like crap. I do though understand the origins of this myth, and I'll speak about it later down the track, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull up some of the mixes, which I've done for my clients and for myself as well, and I will solo some instruments and let you decide just by yourself, do they sound like crap or not? Let's do it. But yeah, bear with me for a sec because I'm gonna... By the way, while I'm trying to recall my bloody gear and freeze the session because it is on backup drive, and hey, consider liking and subscribing to this video, please, because then I can share some more useful information with you. Let's take a look at the mix that we've completed last year for the local, really cool prog band, the Archanan. And just real quick, I'll show you a little fragment. I'm not gonna spill the beans and show too much, but just for you to understand how instruments sound in isolation and whether they do sound like crap or not. Here's a fragment, let's check it out. By no means it sounds like a fuzzy mess by itself and it makes you fatigued or annoyed. That's this example. Let's move on. Need a new one. Another one. Yeah. Alright. Here's another one. The mix that we've done this year for Michael from UK. Again, just a quick showcase of guitars, bass and drums for a little section, nothing over the top. Check it out, let me know if you think that any instrument in isolation sounds like crap, too fuzzy, too bright, too unbearable, and then altogether it comes nicely. Let's see. And again, we listened to all the instruments each by each in isolation and all together, and they never sounded too fuzzy or too overly anything. They were always balanced, thick, and sounded massive by themselves as well as together. Another mix, I'll show you the third one as well. Let's do it. Cool, let's take a look at the last example, and that's a track which I mixed about 2 years ago. That's my solo metal project, the Archanan project. I've talked about it a couple of times. I'll link it up here. But basically, let's consider this in more depth, because I am the owner. I can showcase more of a project without any issues. That's the wrong window, man. So let's have a listen to, again, drums, bass, guitars in isolation here and see what we think. I do not see much of a problem on individual instruments. They don't stand out to me as anything like fuzzy or brittle, and they merge nicely together, they overlap nicely. But there is a key observation that I wanted to share with you, and this particular track is very significant in this way because the rhythmical section is so different. It starts slowly with single kicks, then it's built into double kicks, 16th notes, which make the low end of the track to build up quite significantly. And then the guitars also do some chugs. Those palm mutes have significant increase in low end. So let me show you some of the things that I've done in order to take this low end under control. The easy way to process such a combination when you have significant palm mutes and bass doing some crazy stuff as well as kicks, well, is basically just to high pass a bit higher. Just the guitars. This kind of high pass allows the bass to obviously come through nicer. If we listen to it with drums as well, kicks come through obviously better, there's more room for them. Listen to the guitars in isolation now. They sound significantly thinner, and I don't like the sound. That's why I avoid high passing them so high. Well, 200 Hz is obviously an extreme, but even high passing at 120 is a lot to miss the big and thick low-end chugs. Instead of doing that, you can see that I'm using 3 sidechain multiband compressors. Well, this is not sidechain, this is just a multiband. This one is activated on chugs. For better consistency of low end. So basically I am considering the problem, which is low end build-up, and I'm solving it progressively by using this multiband compressor. And then I use series of dynamic EQ. This frequency here. Jumps out so much on those chugs. So I take it out progressively. My high pass is sitting at 87 only. So if I wanted an easy solution to this, I would have high passed it. Problem kinda solved, but the body is gone. This doesn't sound satisfying to me. It's still masking out the bass a little, and it's just not that meaty. I turn this all back on though. There there we go, it is now satisfying and nice to hear. I would have spent a minute on this high pass as opposed to, I don't know, 10-20 minutes on those careful, precise surgical corrections, but the result would have suffered. And for this reason, I prefer the hard way, which leads to better results and better sounding instruments both in isolation in solo as well as together in the mix. So on that, I will sign off. Guys and girls, take care, use surgical EQ to work on your tracks some more, and hopefully this helps and inspires you to create some bangers.